So now that we have these light rays coming into our eyes, what happens there? Let's talk about the transduction of how the eye works. So a lot of muscles and parts of the eye come together to help you see. Let's walk through a couple of them. First, it goes through your cornea, and your cornea is basically like an outer protection to your eye, kind of like a, I don't know, protective sleeve, so when dust or whatever gets in there, it gets wiped away. Then it goes through the pupil. Pupil basically is like a shutter of a camera. It opens and closes to take in light information. If it gets too bright, then your pupils kind of constrict, so you take in less information. Or if it's too dark, your pupils dilate, they become bigger, and to let in more light. And you can see that it takes a while, like if you probably went from a really bright area into a dark room, and suddenly it's like you went blind, you can't see. And that's because your pupils haven't dilated properly yet. Controlling that pupils is the iris, right? That nice colored ring around your pupils, that's so nice to look at, so pretty. It actually has some muscles that help you contract or dilate the pupils. Then, the light goes into the lens. The lens is basically like, well, it's basically like a lens. It's like a crystal with some liquid in it that helps you focus the information. And you can actually also contract and change the lens too. That's also controlled by muscles. And you can test it out yourself. You could feel it. Where if you take your finger like this and you move it closer to your face and you keep an eye on it, you'll feel like your eye's kind of tightening in several ways. It's basically saying your lens, there's two muscles changing. First is your eye muscles, they're turning inwards. But there's also some muscles inside your eyes that controlling the focus of it, right? And the focus is important because then it actually reflects the information to the back of your eye. Now here in the back of your eye is the retina. Basically the retina is a place where there's lots of sensory cells that detect information. We'll go into more of that later. And where the images gets reflected on is called the fovea. This is where the image mainly gets reflected on. And then there's like some nerve bundle that comes out to the back of the eyeball that connects it to the brain. And there's actually a blind spot, you might have heard this before, where there's actually zero visual cells there. There's no cells there that help you translate that information. So when information hits the fovea, the blind spot, you actually don't see it. So that is to say, we're walking around every day with a blind spot like around right here with the left and right eyes, and yet we don't notice it. And the reason of that is actually perception, because even though in terms of sensation, there's like a giant hole there, our brain automatically fills in that gap for us. So colors, shapes, whatnot, we don't even know that they're missing because they're right there. Okay, I want to talk about what causes like short-sightedness and far-sightedness. And basically that's when your eyeball is either too long or too short, and that kind of contracts. You could see right now it perfectly reflects here. Sometimes it reflects too early here, in which case the images will be too blurred and then we can't see it clearly. That's when we need things like awesome glasses that not only correct your vision, but they make you look wicked smart. That's what I think. Okay, so let's move on to what actually happens here at the end.